Good morning, everybody. My name is Morgan Stickney, filling in for Tommy Johnson with the Portland Regional Chamber. Welcome to Eaton Peabody's Growth Basics for Business, our monthly breakfast seminar series, which provides a forum to gain useful, do-it-yourself workplace solutions and insightful, actionable tips. I want to thank Eaton Peabody for allowing us to bring you this virtual event series for the entire season. I'd like to welcome you to our 7th installment of Growth Basics. The 10-part season-long series runs from September through June 2023. And today's topic, the hidden cost of pen and paper, is presented by Andrew Dickey of Wex and Flume, and will highlight the importance of digitizing business payments. Like all Chamber virtual signature events, today's presentation is free and will be recorded and made available for free replay on the Chamber's website and YouTube page. To keep up to date on all the Chamber's news and events, visit our website, portlandregion.com. Check out our events page and sign up for our weekly email newsletters while you're there. Before we get to today's presentation, I'm excited to share that we are using the online broadcasting platform StreamYard for all virtual Chamber events. This platform provides many improved production and interaction elements that I think you'll be happy to see. I'd also remind you that if you have questions for our presenter, please type them in the YouTube chat and we will relay them to our presenter throughout the presentation, and we'll also save time for a Q&A at the end. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge our presenting sponsor of Growth Basics for Business, Eaton Peabody. For the past 5 years, Eaton Peabody has been the presenting sponsor of this series, and they continue to support this season. Now I would like to invite Marketing Director Nate Levesque to say a few words.
Great. Thank you, Morgan. I want to thank the Portland Chamber for doing such a great job of putting these together and providing new and engaging content month after month. I also want to thank our presenter, Andrew Dickey, for joining us today. Lastly, whether this is your first Growth Basics or your 10th, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. For those of you that may not be familiar with the firm, we are a full-service, Maine-based law firm with nearly 50 attorneys serving Maine clients from offices in Augusta, Bangor, Ellsworth, and Portland. We assist companies of all sizes in a variety of industries. So whether you're an established financial institution or a small business taking your first steps, we can help with all of your legal needs. To learn more about the services that we provide in the industries that we serve, please visit our website, eatonpeabody.com. Also be sure to follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn to stay up to date with legal updates and future presentations. Back to you, Morgan. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nate. Now I'd like to introduce our presenter, Andrew Dickey. With us today is Andrew Dickey, head of the business development at Flume, which is a product of Wex Inc. Andrew has been in the payment space cumulatively for 4 years and is approaching his 1-year mark in this role. His main responsibilities are to communicate and develop relationships with businesses of all kinds to ensure that he puts out an impactful product in the marketplace for micro, small, mid-sized businesses. He grew up in Cape Elizabeth, but left Maine for a couple years and eventually boomeranged back to his roots here in the great state of Maine. With that, I will leave it up to you, Andrew. Feel free to take it away.
Awesome. Well, sweet. Hello, everybody. The background, we've had a little technical difficulties on my end, so appreciate all the cooperation with the Chamber and everybody associated that. But I am here today to talk about the hidden cost of pen and paper and why speeding up and digitizing your payment method matters. Slide 2. Bear with me here. So Morgan kind of talked about it. My name is Andrew Dickey. I'm the head of business development for Flume, which is powered by Wex. To simply describe that, it's a new product within Wex for small businesses. I'm a born and raised Mainer, specifically raised in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Went to University of Maine in Farmington and graduated in 2015. I played collegiate basketball for the team. And then I've been in the payment space, the industry, for around 4 years. I was with Wex for a little bit, went to another medical device sales role, and then boomeranged back to Wex for the payments. I specialize in relationship building, new business strategy, and customer acquisition. So what is Flume? I wanted to give you a brief description of what the product is that I work for. So Flume is a digital-based platform that helps micro, small, and mid-sized businesses manage their everyday tasks, from paying, getting paid, tracking jobs and projects, as well as contacts and network management. For example, businesses can send and receive funds with digital bank transfers, more well known as ACH, direct deposit, credit cards, instant account payments, and digital and physical checks. Flume can also eliminate the need for a manual accounts payable and accounts receivable process. We want to note we're not trying to take those jobs away, but we're hoping to make your life a lot easier by automating and digitizing those methods. It also provides in-depth control, monitoring, and faster reconciliation of business payments, documents, forms, etc., instead of having to manually search through a packed filing cabinet or a spreadsheet hours on end. Also, to keep track of multiple operational tasks, such as projects, jobs, anything like that, simultaneously, while being able to oversee essential documents, collaborators, vendors, and conduct payments all in one place. And yes, if you do have any questions as well, please put them in the chat and I will answer them, as needed. So why am I speaking to you today? So, there's been a big talk with prospects, customers, and, a lot of my role is reaching out to small business owners, micro business owners, and seeing what their pain points are today. And, with those conversations, it's come to our attention that there is a big need for speeding up slow manual processes, and that there's more pain points associated with that than other parts of their business. So today, I'm reaching out to inform all of the members and anybody that that the times are changing, that more businesses are starting to go digital, and the trends are starting to go in that way. So it's important to learn this information, take a look at what you're currently doing today, and possibly think about making that change to more efficiently run your business. So, for example, there are 30 million US small and mid-sized businesses currently relying on slow analog payment methods. That number is very large, so there's a bunch of room for improvement to change methods. And in a time where trends and workflows change often, staying up to date and being able to easily adapt to those changes can be the reason businesses either sink or swim. So a lot of this, as I said earlier, businesses are starting to make this change. So if one business is totally digital and there's another business that is a totally manual process, sometimes they do not go together very well, and it can become complicated to do business. And then we're also seeing that if one business is a manual process and the other is digital, they'll separate from each other and just becomes very difficult to work with. With more businesses beginning to cross over to digital platforms, like I just said, it's becoming more difficult for manual processes to work together with a digital process for a seamless workflow. Studies show that time is money. Everybody knows that. And adopting digital platforms, businesses can save both time and money that they've never experienced before. Just on a personal note, by going digital in a lot of things that I do, it saved me a lot of time, and not necessarily money because I don't own a business, but a lot of time being able to just streamline and digitize different things that I do in my everyday life. Pen and paper cost. This is a very common thing that we hear with a lot of prospects. Our current customers that we have is they've been using checks, they've been doing manual invoices, paper invoices for the past 20 to 25 years. You would never think of, what that cost me. It's just been the way of life for so many years, and you just don't think about it. That's what you do, so you don't think about the cost. So this slide will inform you on, the true cost for using pen and paper. And bear with me as my computer is a little slow. So there was a study, the Federal Reserve did a study, and estimated 28 billion checks were processed in 2009, with a decline of 1.2 billion every year since. At this rate, they estimate paper checks will become extinct by 2026. So as I talked about before, even though it's still a very relevant thing and a relevant process that businesses do today, it's starting to become more extinct, and the digital aspect is starting to become more prevalent in the industries. So as you can see, if you're doing a physical and manual process, at some point this will become extinct. So it will be extremely difficult to run your business on a completely manual and physical process. Another study by the Federal Reserve states paper check usage has decreased by 7.2%, and debit and credit card payments have increased by 8.9%. Just another tidbit that you can see where the direction is going in regards to going digital. So it's important to adapt to the new digitized way. Also, in a study conducted by the Aberdeen Group, $7.78 was the average cost of a paper check, while Bank of America reports a cost of $4 to $20, factoring mailing and processing. Now, you can see that may seem like a very large number, $7.78, or the range between $4 and $20. What that factors into is when you do checks, you have bank processing fees, you're buying paper to print out the checks or the invoices, you're buying the ink for the printer, the hourly or, dollar amount rate that your accountant or your office manager or secretary, what it costs to process that, how much time they're using, that's all factored into that cost. And when you break it down like that, that's where you get that number of either $7.78 in the range between $4 and $20. So as you can see, by simply improving your process, you can not only save yourself money, but time as well. And, if you do 25 to 50 checks per month, which is a typical small business transaction amount, that dollar amount adds up. And, that's money right off your top line that you can take off. And as you can see in my last bullet, processing a check costs a business 10 times more than an ACH transfer, and receiving a check costs 5 times more than an ACH payment. So simply by getting rid of that manual paper process, you can save money immediately and then also save you time. Pay and get paid faster. This is the most important thing that we're hearing from businesses is how many times have you waited for an invoice that you sent out? It hasn't been paid in 15 somewhat days past what it was due. I wait to get paid. I can't pay somebody fast enough. This is one of the benefits of digitizing and speeding up your business processes. So a survey from Douala states getting paid takes an average of 18 days from the time you send an invoice. As I said earlier, the number of small to mid-sized micro businesses that I speak to, a pain point that their customers aren't paying them. They have to chase down their customers or their other vendors, suppliers to pay them is a headache in itself, and it's essentially a waste of their time. So by digitizing your method, you're able to send automatic reminders. They're able to easily pay you instead of having to send you a paper check, go to your location and drop you a manual check. According to WePay, businesses that process all of their payments digitally have 15% fewer cash flow management issues. So as you can imagine, when you're not processing your payments digitally, you're having to file through manual checks, you're having to accept cash, you're always juggling paper. So there could be cash flow management issues that would not be existent if you had a digital process. Roughly 11% of written out invoices sent by small businesses through mail get fulfilled after the due date. As we all know, sending mail or whatnot these days can take a lot of time. It's unpredictable and can be unreliable. There's times when you tell people you sent them something and they say they haven't received it 10 days later. So as you can imagine, with payments, that can be very problematic. And what that can do is that can add late fees onto that. So by digitizing that process, instead of relying on mail to send that or send an invoice or receive it, you're able to instantly send or receive money by adopting the digital process. Another study, according to WePay Small Business and Money Survey, 41% of businesses report having experienced cash flow challenges in just the past year from paper checks alone. I don't need to speak too much on that. It's just another bullet point that just proves that going the digital route speeds up the process and gets rid of headaches. Ditch the filing cabinet. Obviously, everyone that owns a business, we all have them, the filing cabinet, and you can spend hours filing through that thing. If somebody comes and asks you to find a document, a payment, an invoice, a certificate of insurance, anything like that, it could take minutes, it could take hours. I use the analogy, it's when your mother or father ask you to go get a tool or get something in the kitchen and they don't tell you really any details about it. It can take you half an hour to an hour, and then when you can't come back to it, you're getting shamed for it. So this is another piece of the digital aspect that is super important and can save businesses a lot of time and headaches. By going digital, you can have every file at your fingertips, and you can cut down on several redundant costs while boosting the efficient movement of data. Like I'm saying, somebody could ask you for a piece of or a document. You can easily access that just with a click of the mouse or a swipe of the phone. Easily access, edit, and save any invoice, payment, document in your database, which then speeds up business and keeps everything organized inside a familiar user interface. Another huge pain point and another question we get asked, or I get asked a lot, is what happens when I'm out of the office? If there's a business owner that's out of the office, if there's an admin that's out of the office, how hard is it going to be for somebody who hasn't touched that filing cabinet in 6 months be able to find an important piece of information? Well, by going digital and having platforms such like Flume, it's very easy to be able to go in and find documents if you're not in it every day. You can just easily search for the document, the name, and it pulls right up and you're able to find that information fast. Digitizing documents as they come in or are created can help protect your information from the risk associated with paper documents. So another piece is security, where by digitizing this, it's going to be in one single platform and not scattered all over the place. You could have a document that's on the desk that somebody comes in, they're not supposed to see that document, and they, take that information and go put it somewhere else. By digitizing and storing these documents, in a cloud or in a platform, you're able to secure that, and it's your eyes that see it only, or whoever needs to see that can see it. Also, another big thing is creating a culture for digital invoices, payments, documents, and efficient storage can create a more efficient workflow and saving time for anyone who needs to access the information in the business. Like I said, it's super easy for them to find information, not only the person who's in it every day, but maybe that person that needs to access it 1 or 2 times, or accounting needs to see all the invoices, all the payments associated with that. They can easily find that and organize it and reconcile it. So why businesses are going automated? All the time when I talk to customers or prospects, they ask me, Andrew, why should I go automated? Well, you talk all this stuff about, you give all these numbers, you give all these facts. Excuse me, why should I go automated? First of all, less administrative work. Pretty much what I've talked about in my slides before. It saves you time. So most financial platforms offer payment data in a digital format that software can recognize and use for matching records. So easily be able to organize documents, payments, conduct payments. It just takes time and saves headaches in the administrative world that can help you tremendously. Increased accuracy. Automation can process all the numbers, make comparison, accept matches, and ensure you are sending and receiving the correct information. So when you do send paper checks, invoices, if you're handwriting them, there can be just human error. And by doing an automated process or a digital process, there may be things in line where you're able to say, hey, this invoice looks off, or this payment amount is different than what was received on the invoice, and it can double check you so there's more accurate information that's being sent out or received. Up-to-date invoice payment and collection, as I talked about earlier, nothing's more of a headache and a pain than sending out an invoice or going to pay somebody and it takes forever to get there or receive. By going digital, you're able to see, okay, this payment was sent this day, it was received, they've checked it out, they've cashed it, whatnot. where if you're on a physical and manual process, you have no idea if they've received it or not. You could have sent a check and they could have received it 5 days and they didn't let you know they received it until you asked them 20 days later. So it's very easy to stay up to date. Seamless accounting software integration. So for example, what Flume does is we connect with QuickBooks. So anything that's done in QuickBooks can communicate back into Flume and then vice versa. So it takes, going back to the administrative part, you're able to save so much time on being able to just have those automatically sync up rather than looking at each individual invoice, individual check, document, matching it up, and then physically entering that amount into an accounting software that you currently have. So that's my spiel for today. I know it was pretty quick and simple, but that's really the emphasis on what we are doing, Flume, but then also other platforms as well, is to make the process as simple as can be, and to make small to mid-size micro business owners make their lives easier by adopting this new method that is ever so evolving on a daily basis. So thank you, the Chamber, for giving me this opportunity to, inform my fellow Mainers about this process. Eaton Peabody, thank you. And everybody that attends and watches this video, thank you so much for listening. And please feel free to reach out to me. My email is andrew.dickey@wexinc.com. And I would love to answer any questions on this topic, or if you have questions about Flume, I would love to help you out. So yeah, I'll open the floor for questions, and Morgan, if you want to take it from here.
Yeah. If there are any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat for Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for a great presentation. That was really awesome. And thank you to the Chamber staff for helping to produce this. We have a question, looks like. How much would Flume cost for a single proprietor business?
Yep. So thank you, Eileen. Yeah. So we have a free trial for 3 months. And then after that 3 months, it's $25 per month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we go? Thank you again, Andrew, and thank you, Eaton Peabody. Thank all of you for attending our presentation today and other growth basics throughout the year. If you're interested in learning more about Flume and digitizing your payments in the future, be sure to check your email for a follow-up message with links to additional resources. Another shout out to our sponsor, Eaton Peabody, for their support of the Growth Basics for Business series. We look forward to seeing you March 21st, where we'll hear from Chief Marketing Officer the Chief Marketing Officer at Chief Outsiders, Mel Bucher. The Growth Basics for Business series is typically held on the second or third Tuesday of each month, and we'll hold off for any other questions. Looks like that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.